Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in-depth daily coverage of your Green Bay Packers. We have new episodes dropping every day, Monday through Friday, so hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Today, we're going to address some things to watch for during OTAs this week as the Packers have their mandatory mini camp. And look, the regular season is still 3 months off, but there are important things happening at OTAs as new players get their first taste of Packers action. The full roster, or very close to it, will be together on the field, and those position battles that we are watching are going to start to begin to take shape. So the first area of focus is the offensive line. The Packers always say, hey, we want to start the 5 best offensive linemen, but who are the best 5 and how will they line up? I mean, their desire to start the best 5 always, leads them to select and value versatility in their offensive linemen. Let's see how it pays off this year. You've got a battle between incumbent Rasheed Walker and 2024 first-round pick Jordan Morgan at left tackle. If Morgan doesn't win the left tackle job, he could once again compete with Sean Ryan for the right guard spot. We also don't know about Elton Jenkins. Will he show up? And how will he do at center? I expect that he'll do well if he does show up. If he doesn't, who is going to take first-string reps at center? That's a big question. We'll also get our first real look at free agent addition Aaron Banks. And then will second-year players like Travis Glover and Jacob Monk take a step forward this year? So plenty of questions along the offensive line. Maybe another area that certainly has some concerns and questions is cornerback. And most of those surround Jair Alexander. We don't know whether or not he'll be back. The Packers have yet to settle his up-in-the-air situation. And now the question is, who starts on the boundary? Who ends up in the slot? If Alexander is back, it would be Alexander at one spot on the boundary, probably either Keyshawn Nixon or Carrington Valentine on the other. You also have Nate Hobbs, who could certainly play in the slot or on the boundary, although he's had more experience in the slot. But where does that leave Javon Bullard, who predominantly played his best football in the slot, but also saw some reps at safety? So lots of questions. A lot of it does get solved if Alexander stays and then stays healthy, but we have yet to see what happens there. So keep an eye on that position. How about linebacker? Also, I think there's some competition there. We know if everyone's healthy, Edgerrin Cooper and Quay Walker are 2 of your 3 starters, but who's going to get that third spot? Obviously, the Packers re-signed Isaiah McDuffie over the offseason. Will McDuffie manage to hold on to that spot, or does 2024 third-round pick Tyron Hopper take a step forward and compete for playing time? Hopper certainly has more athletic ability than McDuffie, but doesn't have the experience or the proven track record. And then where does Isaiah Simmons fit in? Simmons, a former top 10 overall pick in the draft, is sort of a hybrid safety and linebacker. He looked good at voluntary OTAs. Now we'll see how he fares here and whether or not he can carve out a role, whether it's that third starting spot or maybe a particular set of blitz packages that he could help the team run. Obviously, at OTAs, you always keep your eye on the draft picks. And, Matthew Golden, first-round pick, he's looked, pretty impressive so far, but you want to keep an eye on him. Savion Williams. I'm keeping a particular eye on Barron Sorrell and Colin Oliver, the 4th and 5th round defensive ends who the Packers picked up. The key here is this. Every year at OTAs, you end up with 1 or 2 players who are picked in the draft or who are undrafted free agents who stand out and sort of announce that they might be able to contribute at some point in their rookie season. You want to look for that. Look, OTAs are being done without pads for the most part. You're not, full contact. You're not full speed, but that doesn't mean you can't make an impression. And especially certain positions have a better chance of making an impression than others. I want to see how some of these draft picks do and what the coaching staff has to say about them. And then, obviously, to me, the last position we'll touch on right now is the wide receiver group, because other than knowing that Christian Watson will miss at least half the season as he rehabs from that knee injury, we want to see Matthew Golden and Savion Williams and what kind of a role they play. But then, Jaden Reed, probably still going to be your slot guy. He allegedly had his agent speak to Brian Gutekunst about his role. Does Romeo Doubs settle down and become more consistent this year? Will he still be unhappy with his role? Does Dontavian Wicks cut down on the drops and finally realize his potential in this, his third season? Guys like Bo Melton and Malik Heath, can they stay on the roster, or is this position too deep and too crowded? And how about Mecole Hardman, who they signed as a free agent from the Chiefs? Does he become the team's primary return specialist, taking over for Nixon? Does he make it as a wide receiver, or was he an insurance policy that the Packers will not ultimately need to cash in? These are all questions, again, we'll get preliminary reports on during OTAs, and we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll have all the coverage you want right here at the Packers Post. Don't forget to check out our website at thepackerspost.com. New articles drop 6 days a week. We'll bring you in-depth daily coverage of the Packers there. Hit the like button and subscribe here so you never miss an episode of the Daily Packers Post. I'm Gil Martin. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Thanks to everyone who served our country and laid down their lives for it on this Memorial Day. You're not forgotten, and your sacrifices are much appreciated. Have a great day, everybody. And of course, go Pack Go.